Hello, folks. Okay, welcome to today's town hall focused on operations. So, as always, we are recording and live streaming today's session. So, if you get disconnected at any point, you can head over to our YouTube page. That is youtube.com/@hospitable. Feel free to drop us some messages in the chat saying hello. Please do throughout the session, though, try and keep your questions to the Q&A section. That's going to help us to stay on track and make sure that we're answering your questions as they come up. They get lost if you put them in the chat itself. We're going to start off today's session with some industry and product updates. We will also, of course, try and take some Q&A live on stage from the audience, but we'll try our best to squeeze that in. We'll see if we manage to or not. As always, we'll try to get to everything in the chat and Q&A as well. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Pierre, who's going to start off with a few industry updates. PC.
Hey, hello everybody. Thank you for being here and joining us today. We do indeed have a very packed town hall, but we have to talk about Airbnb and about the transition to the host-only fee for all PMS connected hosts. This is going to be a very short and sweet thing. The first thing that we want to say is that we cannot predict this was coming. Last year, we migrated our connection to a property management software scope. That means Hospitable became there the source of truth for all your reservation and pricing data. And we shared already at that point a lot of opinions about the host-only fee. We saw some of our predictions validated in the update from April about having search showing the fully loaded price, total price, except taxes in the United States. That was already the rule outside of the United States, but now it was brought in. The second thing is that we believe, and we still believe, even if Airbnb didn't make that announcement yet, we still believe that the host-only fee will become the rule, not just for property management software connected hosts like Hospitable users, but also will be the case across the world. There are several reasons for this that are basically down to fundamental economics and that we have shared as a company on our community. Now, for what's coming next for you on October 27th, and you've heard that to oblivion in the past few weeks, in the past few days, hosts who are already on the host-only fee will have their fee change from 15 to 15.5%, and hosts who are in the United States, in North America, that were not being forced into that host-only fee last year will have to transition to the host-only fee moving forward. Hospitable will be there to assist you, and I think that's an important update that I want you to hear. There will be an update coming later in a few weeks, way ahead of October 27th, to be asking for the markup that you would want to apply as your pricing structure is changing, so that we are ready to mark up your rates, and we'll be synchronizing with Airbnb to make sure that on a timing basis, we will always have the rate that's being pushed that's correct, so that there is no reservation that would ever be taken at a loss or with a reduced payout. Again, you are fully expected to be marking up your rate by a percentage to cover the change of pricing structure. Another thing that I want to add is that we'll apply default in that upcoming Hospitable update, so that people that are not taking any action will still be receiving the same payout, and unless they opt out completely, as in overriding the markup to whatever they so choose. So there will be more communications from us in coming weeks to basically ask you what your markup rate should be whenever the migration is changing, but we'll be there to protect your payout and facilitate so that you are not all on October 27th frantically typing 14.8 to be marking up your rate. Now, we will have plenty of time to be talking about OTAs and booking platforms in future town halls. Today, we're having a very specific update on the operation that has been several years in the work. Nothing out there that we're going to say is particularly new, in that we've been repeating that to oblivion again for quite a lot of time. We're called visionaries for doing it. Now, actually, we are delivering on a lot of what we want to have operations looking like within Hospitable. And Andrew will be your host in that demonstration. Good luck.
Okay, we have a lot to cover, so buckle up. Today, we are talking about operations in the classic Hospitable sense. So next slide, please. This traditionally has meant your cleaners, your maintenance team, and maybe some other service providers that you work with. This area, again, traditionally speaking, as Pierre mentioned, has not gotten a lot of love and attention from us. If you manage your own teammates in Hospitable, and most of you do, once you've added them as users, you set up task rules, but you also need to create notification rules. But we don't really help you assign to the most appropriate person. An available teammate, they can't accept or reject a task. And we don't send reminders to whoever is doing a task. And you don't really get any visibility into the task being done because, well, we don't have a cleaning app. So our checklist, again, it's not actually a checklist in the most traditional sense of the word. And so you can't see any status updates when the task has started or when it's completed. But if you don't like our tools, we have integrations with several third-party operations providers like Turno, Cleanster, Resort Cleaning, and Tidy. But these integrations have some of the same limitations as Hospitable. So if Hospitable's operations is fragmented, it's a whole other level to have to set up everything on a separate platform and manage it from a separate platform. Because the integrations are only one way, you can't see information or status updates about the operations tasks in Hospitable. If you are using Hospitable for accounting, we actually don't know how much your jobs end up costing, so we can't run your expenses for you. And wherever you end up messaging your team, all of the context you need from Hospitable is in a separate platform. You've told us that you expect more. There are many highly upvoted feature requests at feedback.hospitable.com in the operations area that we have not been able to make progress on for a very long time now. Now, your feedback, if we boil it down, it comes in 6 basic areas. You want help maintaining a quality guest experience by tracking issues that pertain to operations. We need to help you resolve those issues by creating tasks and better managing the actual people who do them. We need to give you real-time visibility of the status of those tasks, as the status is obviously relevant to the guest reservations you manage in Hospitable. When there are inevitably issues, you need to be able to speak easily with the relevant people on your team. Those people should have controlled access to your property at the right times so that you can protect the security of your property and the privacy of your guests. And finally, you have told us that you lose a lot of time tracking the jobs done by your team and paying them out. Today, we're going to show you how we're starting to address all of these areas. And we're going to start by welcoming to the stage Nick from our AI team to share what we're doing with issue tracking and task management.
Thank you, Andrew. So in January this year, we started piloting an AI feature with our mobile users. And this feature helped identify reservations that had issues associated with them. In this case, for example, you're seeing one of those where there's a nice tag there saying that there's a dirty floors, something to do with the fridge. We'll take a look at the messages in that conversation, like that led to this, right? The initial feedback was actually very positive. So we made it very clear that, so we made it clear in the inbox which reservations needed attention. You can filter on all the reservations with issues. And for anyone who is developing their own workflows, we actually send a reservation webhook when an issue is detected. Now, in the inbox, we ask if you want to cancel your automated review requests, assuming that if there is an issue, a 5-star review might be at risk, right? Those are great features already, but otherwise we weren't really helping you take action on these issues. When guests mentioned the bathroom vents were gross or there was mildew in the shower curtains, we weren't helping you pass that on to your cleaners. We're going to start doing that through an all-new operations checklist. But before that, I do want to point out one thing. There was a feature request that was kind of sitting there for a long time, and that is being able to dismiss these alerts. So if this is not relevant for you or you've otherwise handled it, it is now very easy to go ahead and do so. It will disappear. Now, back to what I was saying with checklists. So let me very quickly switch over to the following. we will now actually start suggesting possible tasks that you can act on based on what our AI detects in the inbox through these issue alerts. We're going to start rethinking checklists for cleaners. One issue with our current checklist is that they are static. Now, there are certainly common tasks on your checklist that you'll always want your cleaners to do. It's pretty trivial for us to know what those are based on your property, your location, amenities, and other contexts we have about your property. So that's what we do now. If you don't have a checklist for your cleaners, we now generate one for you using AI. And for example, I can just give you a quick look. You might already have seen just a few days ago, we made an update to the task rule UI that allowed you to actually have a more structured checklist in there rather than having this like one note-like field for the checklist. And so now with these AI-powered suggestions, you can just like very quickly add it to this and apply the changes to the task, and off it goes. It will be saved and sent off to the cleaners. But there's also a dynamic component to your cleanings with the context of the reservation checking out and the next reservation checking in. Did the previous reservation have a pet? In which case the yard needs to be checked for surprises and the furniture needs to be vacuumed for pet hair. Did they mention a spill, a stain, a light bulb out? How many guests are on the next reservation? Does the sofa sleeper need fresh sheets? Is there a dog? So your team knows to put out dog bowls and treats. So this new checklist feature lets us start to take action on resolving issues we detect that can be resolved by your cleaning team by adding ad hoc tasks to your next cleaning. Instead of a property checklist, it's now a reservation checklist. Today, we're making AI issue alerts, so those tags that you saw there, and related workflows in your review automation and cleaner checklists available to all Host, Pro, and Mogul customers. It's now rolling out of Mogul to Host, Pro, and Mogul. And if the issue we detect is not a task, we'll let you dismiss it now, as I mentioned. But you might be thinking or saying in the chat, Nick, Hospitable doesn't have a cleaner app, like Andrew mentioned. How do my cleaners actually use these checklists? Well, that's a great question. Let's get Andrew to come back on stage to introduce the next part of what we're about to announce.
Cool. Thank you, Nick. We can get the slides back up. Cool. So we're now tying these checklists. We're tying the issue alerts into checklists so we can help you actually get issues resolved. But how do we get those to cleaners? Hospitable, we could make a checklist app, right? But that would only solve some of the limitations that we talked about. We could build our own cleaner app, but that would take us a lot of time and generally be a riskier path for us. So we thought about what other options we have available. Well, the existing integrations we have for operations, those vendors do have specialized apps that have been road tested by tens of thousands of cleaners and hundreds of thousands of cleanings. But as we said at the start, we don't have any visibility or connectivity to these apps and the people using those apps. That means in Hospitable, you're disconnected from the messaging, the task updates, the photos, and more. So instead of starting from scratch with our own cleaner app, it was clear to us that the fastest path to value to you all was to address the needs you have communicated to us by more tightly integrating into existing cleaning apps so that you can manage the tasks and the people without having to leave Hospitable or even to set up an account with another vendor. Today, we're launching our first in a new class of features that are making up our marketplace. So Pierre talked about Marketplace in our January 22nd town hall when we presented our 2025 roadmap. And I really like how we defined what Marketplace means for Hospitable. A marketplace of service providers that augments your powers as a host and makes it trivial to start and profitably run a short-term rental operation. We're starting with cleaners, and we're launching our marketplace for cleaners starting tomorrow. I'm now going to invite Roy onto the stage to walk us through all the new functionality to manage cleaning operations without ever leaving Hospitable.
Thanks, Andrew. So yeah, as Andrew said, we're excited today to announce that we're launching the capability to put your clean-ins on Autopilot. And what do we mean by autopilot? We mean a new type of task rule in Hospitable that automatically finds a verified, highly rated cleaner from the marketplace in your area to clean your property after every reservation. We're able to provide new levels of visibility into their status, new capabilities to communicate with your cleaner, and we automate the payment of all your cleaners. We're launching this from tomorrow for the US market and Canada next week. So let's jump in. Okay, hopefully you can see my screen there.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, so from tomorrow, again, hosts with properties in the US will see a button to add an autopilot cleaning. For today, we will go to task rules and we're able to add a new task. So if I click into here, we're able to select a cleaning task. We'll go to continue. And one thing to note about autopilot tasks is that they're created by property. So I'm going to say that I want to set up an automatic cleaning task here. We can click through to next. And then I'm able to select a property that I want to get started with. So we'll be set up a task rule to make sure that your property gets cleaned at the checkout of every reservation to this task. Okay, so tasks are primarily scoped by time. We will get to that in a second. We will let you know here that we automatically schedule a clean-in 1 hour after every checkout from your particular property. And we'll also give an estimated cost per clean here. So yeah, as I was saying, tasks are primarily scoped by time. We estimate the time based on your bedroom and bathroom count, as we're showing here. So we show these here for context, but you can't edit them. You can adjust our estimate. So this is a recommendation. If you think we've over or underestimated how long it takes for someone to clean your property, you're able to adjust this. So if I make some adjustments here and up it to 3 hours, you'll notice that the cost per clean increases. So the cleaning time is what determines the cost, and we'll estimate that based on the size of your property. Also, we have different cleaning costs as well if you are going to provide your own cleaning supplies. So you'll notice that that takes a little bit off too. So for now, I'm just going to go back to our recommended cleaning time. Okay, so sticking with your property on the next screen, as Nick showed earlier, we're going to help create a task list by using AI to generate a basic list of tasks. We're generating this task list for all cleans based on the context of your property. We look at things such as your property details, your room descriptions, outdoor spaces, amenities, and smoking policy and location. So you'll notice that we've automatically created this checklist for this property here. As Nick was sharing earlier, we'll also be augmenting this with a standard checklist with context from your previous and upcoming reservations too. So you may take a look at this list. You can also add a group or add items as you see fit. So I'm just going to add one here, and I'm going to ask to, on arrival, give us a video walkthrough of our property. And we can continue on with that. Okay, so on the next screen, we're going to show you verified cleaners in your area from our initial supply provider, Cleanster. We're going to show you how many jobs they've done and their overall review score as well. It's important to note at this point that at this stage, we're controlling the task assignment, so there's no action to take on this screen yet. We're just communicating the quantity and the quality of cleaners in your area. We'll find a top-rated available cleaner who accepts your task. We'll be improving this soon to let you designate a primary cleaner, a number of alternatives, or backup cleaners as you see fit. Okay, so we're then going to confirm instructions for how these cleaners will access your property. And here we're going to have the debut of another new feature, which is proper operations smart lock codes. This is a test property at the moment, so this is a little bit hard to see. I appreciate that. With our Operation Smart Lock codes, until now, these codes have been static codes you create and set an expiration date. They're always on, meaning that cleaners can enter your property at any time. What we're looking to do with this upgrade is we're treating them more like guest smart lock codes and issuing unique codes for every task, with the code time-bound for the time of the task, the start time and the end time, plus a small buffer if they get there a little bit earlier, or if they've left some supplies behind after. This is a much more secure configuration. They work automatically with all new Autopilot cleaning tasks, and you can set them up for any Hospitable task by adding the Operation Smart code to any task notification rule. There's also space here as well. If you select your smart lock, if you have any other access instructions. So they need to go, please use the side of the property. Yep, so you're able to specify any additional instructions you need to here. Right, okay, if we go next. So here we'll give you a quick overview in terms of how much a clean is going to cost, and also then which payment method you'll want to use to pay the cleaning. So again, important to note, cleanings are prepaid. The way that we manage that currently is we draft the cost of 2 cleanings when we schedule your first cleaning. Then whenever a cleaning is done, we would replenish the funds of that cleaning. So marketplace payment method is a new concept in Hospitable. We imagine that this is how you'll eventually automate payroll and other services for a lot of your team, with the payment schedule run against the context of reservations, tasks, or regular calendar payments. Paid just in time, integrated into your Hospitable accounting, and owner statements if you're a PM. For now, we'll make bank drafts to fund your Autopilot cleanings. So if we go to the next step. So yeah, on the final step, we're going to confirm what's going to happen. When we turn this on, the task rule is active for your newly created reservations. We don't touch your current tasks, but we will disable any existing checkout cleanings that you may have conflict. We'll also call out here if you're using an existing cleaning integration. We don't have visibility on those tasks, so you should update that integration so you don't start double booking cleanings. And that's it. Now we'll have a task rule as soon as I press this. That will run cleanings on Autopilot for this property. And for our final demo, I'm going to pass back to Nick.
Thank you so much, Matt. That was that was a lot to squeeze into one demo. You did fantastic. Thank you. Nick, take it away.
Yes, sir. Give me just a moment. Let's get set up again. And let's see. Okay. So a small aside. So remember, we have this issue detected with like a dirty floor, something with the fridge. So let's actually find this in the message from the guest. Yeah, unfortunately, we were a little disappointed with the cleanliness. The floors are very sticky. Fridge also wasn't cleared up properly. So, right, ideally, we just we take the recommendation, and as I showed you, we can add it quickly to the next checklist for the cleaning, right? And the cleaner will automatically receive that in real time through our marketplace partners. Now, having task rules on Autopilot would become more stress than joy if you still needed to keep tabs on what's happening with the cleaner, with the cleaning tasks. So wouldn't it be great if Hospitable was able to provide real-time updates for everything related to every cleaning? So for example, we have an upcoming cleaning on this booking. And oh, look at that. So John, our cleaner, is currently on the way. And what we can actually see is that there is a location in real time. And we can actually see that whenever we get updates, the location actually changes in real time. We track that. And so John would at some point arrive, and then very quickly after that, probably start actually with the cleaning. And it doesn't end there. You might also be seeing something interesting happening over here, which is that we actually support messaging with cleaners in Autopilot mode in the marketplace. And something was meant to come up. It didn't, but I'll show you here. There.
For those in the audience, Nick is simulating a lot of this. We obviously don't have John Doe cleaning an actual property in real life, so he's doing a lot right now. He's juggling things, but yeah, this is how it's really going to work. It's just a simulated experience to show. But yeah, real-time status updates. We know when the cleaner finishes their previous job, when they're on the way, when they arrive. You're going to be able to see them on the map actually, and you're going to be able to talk to them here. Sorry, Nick.
Yep. No, perfect. You will be able to talk back and forth, and this is particularly important if something's not going right for some reason, like there's maybe problems with getting access, or there's a problem reported. So there's a built-in functionality to actually surface any problems that come up during the cleaning with supporting photos. And this can be exchanged in the chat. And as the cleaner works through the checklist, you'll actually see the tasks being completed with supporting photos. So if we actually switch over to the task being fully completed, what we can actually see is eventually something like this, where you get evidence. Obviously, these are simulated images, again, as Andrew mentioned, but you will get evidence of photos being taken for different parts of the checklist that you provide as proof of the cleaning being done. I think that's all we have to show for today.
Okay, so there have been a lot of questions in the chat. Does this apply to me? I have my own cleaners, etc. Let me run through those now. Okay, so let's just cover what we've done. So Nick, Roy, thank you so much for those demos. Let's go through it. So you will start to see tags in your inbox list view pointing out which reservations are having issues starting from today. That's if you are on a host, professional, or mogul plan. You are going to be able to filter those issues to help you focus on what you can do to improve your guest experience. When an issue happens, we'll ask if you'd like us to cancel your review request, so we don't ask for a 5-star review when we think there's a chance you won't get one. They're now going to suggest adding to your cleaner checklist to save you time and help you resolve issues. And for those of you who develop custom workflows in Hospitable, you'll also get issue alerts by webhook now. That's issue alerts starting from today for all host, professional, and mogul customers. What else we announced today? Operation Smart Locks. Those are available from today. They bring improved security to property access for your operations teammates. You can use them simply by adding the smart code you see there, operations smart code, to any task notification, and they will work out of the box as long as you have a smart lock matched to your property. And for the marketplace tasks that we demoed today, they'll work automatically. You just check the box that you have a smart lock that you want to use with your cleaners. Voila. Finally, the big one, the cleaner marketplace is available to all host, professional, and mogul customers as well. We are starting first with properties in the USA and going live from tomorrow. I should say most properties. We pre-qualify which properties based on our marketplace availability. We ran these through Cleanster's database. Only 0.5% of our properties are out of market. So 99.5% of you guys will have access to a marketplace of cleaners. Canada will get access to the marketplace, hopefully from next week. We're not far away from that. With the marketplace, we are introducing a host of new capabilities like real-time status updates, messaging, cleaner photos, and payments, but we are not finished. Obviously, what's launching tomorrow is not the finished feature. We plan to next let you set preferences for cleaners to have more control, as Roy mentioned. Instead of just blanket checkout cleaning task rule, we want to let you book one-off tasks and set conditions like, I want to use the marketplace on a specific day of the week or specific days of the week. Our launch partner is Cleanster, like we said. We're in talks to bring on more supply to help make this service available in more markets so more of you can benefit from the marketplace. Now, I am super excited about what's next for Hospital's operations more generally. We showed you a lot of new capabilities today that are only available for now because we delivered them through an integrated partner. That gave us, again, a faster path to get started and to learn by doing. One of the things we will look at next is upgrading our operations features, especially for those of you who manage your own cleaners. In Hospitable today, that's about 70% of our customers. For the other 30% of you that are mostly using Turno, we're in active discussions with them to improve the integration and better support you. Hopefully we can get them into the marketplace too. Overall, going forward, we'll be upgrading our own operations with a lot of what you saw here today. But even those of you that have a handle on your own operations today, we think many of you will be marketplace users as well. We don't expect you to drop your current cleaners or to push them all onto Cleanster so you can now use these new tools. We want you to take comfort knowing just-in-time cleaners are available to you whenever you need them. Whether you're a new host who maybe never sourced cleaners, don't know how, don't want to deal with that, we can help you. Maybe you're an experienced property manager, but you have trouble taking on inventory in new territories where you don't have teammates, you don't have operations. We can make that more easy. We talk to a lot of people getting set up, a lot of hosts who aren't 100% thrilled with their current cleaning team. We understand that. You might be a good candidate to start sampling what else is out there. We took all the friction out of that. And all of you that we talk to have occasional gaps in your schedule or run into surprises. I talked to one host who likes his current cleaner, but that cleaner cannot clean on Fridays. So this host has no options but to restrict checkout on Fridays, which isn't great for business. What if he could set up a task rule for Friday checkouts to get assigned to the marketplace? We're hoping to make that possible. All of you have had cleaners that go on vacation, cleaners that go on leave, cleaners that quit, they get sick, their car breaks down. We think the marketplace is a great fit for you when that happens. Overall, operations and cleaning in particular are critical for your business and generally one of the most difficult things to get right. Across all of our hosts in Q2, we got together a 4.81 average on the cleanliness segment, looking at our Airbnb reviews across all hosts. That's pretty good, but it's actually one of our lowest categories at Hospitable. When we look across all of your Airbnb accounts, you had an average overall rating, all reviews, 4.84 stars, which is above our comp set. So great, good job, but we're much higher in other categories. So communication, for example, was the highest, 4.91. Check-in was 4.90. Cleanliness is probably one of the easiest for us to influence given the gap in the product that we can close now. We think issue alerts and the integration to cleaning checklist and tasks will have an impact. Our hope is that we'll be able to look ahead and detect the change in those of you that adopted this feature in your cleanliness reviews. You're going to have AI combing through all of your chat content, detecting issues, combing through your reviews, the private messages in a review that said, hey, by the way, like that shower vent that has clearly never been cleaned, can you take care of that? That used to be you having to spot that, communicate to your cleaner, get that on a message, get it on a task if you have a checklist, and get that done. We're going to be automating that process. Think about that happening in every reservation, every property you manage, all running in the background now. That has to have an impact on your cleanliness. We'll also be talking soon about a property quality dashboard in the near future as the next tool to help you improve your operations. But I have been talking for too long. As Douglas Adams would say, to summarize the summary, many of you will now have access to on-demand cleaners whenever you need them most. Cleanster said this can be as reliably fast as 4 hours in large markets. Everywhere else, within 24 hours, you should be able to find a cleaner when you need them. We're putting a priority on operations product at Hospitable. We have a lot of improvements we want to make. Those are starting to happen. And today is the beginning of our marketplace, what we pitched as our moonshot for 2025. When Pierre said it takes a village to run a short-term rental, we want you to help you find that village. We want to help you find those people, manage the tasks and the jobs that they do for you, and to pay them. We're starting with cleaners. We're going to be looking at maintenance and other general service providers next, and eventually let many of you participate in the marketplace as property managers. When owners want to switch managers, take a break from hosting, or decide they want to get out of hosting altogether, we want you to be the supply for them. And with that, we'll end here and pass on to product updates starting with Direct.
Yep, thanks, Andrew. So a couple of quick updates for Direct. We've released alteration requests to all users, which means that now when you create an alteration for your guest, instead of processing that alteration immediately, we'll send a request to the guest, who will then view the alteration in the guest portal and accept or reject the alteration request. And that's setting us up to allow you to adjust the price of an alteration, which is something we're currently working on, and we're hoping to have ready next week. The goal here is to give you more control over alterations. If you need to adjust the price, if you've negotiated a new rate to allow the guest to add on another night, for example. But then later on, we'd also like to allow guests to request alterations themselves from the guest portal. So that'll be coming later. Also this week, we released, back to the last slide real quick. This week, we released some improvements to Google Analytics. So we now load with Google Analytics ID, Google Tag Manager in a couple of different places. So within your direct site, within the booking widget, and through to the booking flow. And we've also made some updates to the e-commerce tracking events for Google Analytics as well. So now you have the ability to track the full direct booking funnel using Google Analytics. And then we have some updates to tax remittance for direct premium. So effective September 1st, this Monday, we've added a few new states. So we now have Arkansas, which is including state and local sales tax, as well as state lodging tax. We added state lodging tax for Oregon, and we also now remit the county innkeeper's tax in Indiana. And if you tuned into the last town hall, we announced that we would be expanding local remittance in a couple of different jurisdictions. We are a little bit delayed on that. That will now be coming October 1st. But coming October 1st, you'll have, if you have properties in Alabama, Florida, Illinois, New York, Ohio, and Texas, we'll be adding remittance in several local jurisdictions as well. And as a reminder, this is a priority for us this year. Our accountant in residence, Brandon, has been working hard on getting registered and adding as many new states as possible. Our goal is to turn this whole map pink. And so as soon as we have a plan for your state and your jurisdiction, you'll hear about it here. And we also keep all of our health documentation up to date with how taxes are handled in your state. And that's it for direct. I think next up is AI.
I will repeat because I think we just forgot to remove the slide from the last town hall, embarrassingly. But it's a good opportunity to cover again what was recently released. If you are on Mogul and you haven't yet tried Copilot, in fact, we heard from a new Mogul user earlier today who was seriously impressed with their first try of Copilot with the functionality available there. Do try it out. We're always adding more and more features, and the most recent improvements were, in fact, charting, graphing capabilities embedded directly into Copilot, and the ability to compare multiple properties across multiple time spans, act on your calendar, look up data for your calendar, mass update. Check it out. It's gotten actually quite powerful, and not too soon, but probably a few town halls down the line, you can look forward to a pretty big update that we have cooking. And I think I'll end it there and pass it on.
Thanks, Nick. All right, last Tuesday, we released owner stays for our Mogul users. So what that means is that similar to a manual reservation, you can go and add an owner stay in Hospitable, but it behaves a lot differently than a typical manual reservation would. One, it's flagged specifically as an owner stay. You can specify different preparation time. You can choose to block the day before or the day after and offer way earlier check-in or check-out to your owners. You can choose to make the smart lock code communication optional if they already have a key to get into their own place. And we give you the option to deduct a cleaning fee from the amount that they're owed on the next statement so that they never have to pay for that, but it is taken care of at the end of the day. Next, we're working on getting those owner stays into the portal itself so that you don't have to block it off from Hospitable. Your owner can do that if you give them permission. We've heard from many users that they want that to be permission-based and they want to give some owners the option and not all. And so we've heard you there. We'll make this something that you can enable for your owners if you'd like to. If you'd like to explore it and you're not on Mogul today, you can go ahead and scan that QR code and take a quick tour of what owner stays is like. Next, I'll pass it off to Petra for community updates.
Hi, everyone. So on the community side, we have a couple of news. So if you have been a beta tester, then you've been seeing this community update in the Hospitable dashboard already for a couple of weeks. But if you haven't been a tester, you will see it now. So directly in your dashboard, you're gonna see up to 3 interesting and popular things happening in the community, with 1 to 2 promoted from the Hospitable team, and the rest will be showing up as it gets popular in the community. And the second thing we're launching this week, we're having a new concept that we're testing in the community. It's kind of Ask Me Anything. We're calling it The Insider. The idea is to spotlight inspiring and interesting hosts, team members, partners, and bring them live to answer your questions. We will be kicking it off tomorrow with Abby, and the topic is Hospitable Direct. So any questions you might have for her, you can scan the QR code and ask the question upfront, or you can join directly tomorrow at 12 p.m. ET and have her there answering the questions live. See you there.
Okay, thank you very much, Petra. Okay, so we have a couple of events upcoming for me to call out, as well as Petra's community events. So this is going to be a final call out for our Orlando workshop that's in person. So happening in a little less than 2 weeks. So you can join us for a hands-on workshop in Orlando on September 15th. We'll help you set up and optimize your Hospitable account for true short-term rental mastery. And we're going to cover practical tips and guide you through all the essentials of your Hospitable accounts. And we'll also get you up to speed on all the new operations things that we just shared today as well. Plus, this is right before the Florida Extravaganza short-term rental conference. So it's perfect time to be in town to visit 2 fantastic events. Seats are super limited. We only have 10 spots remaining. So please, if you are interested, scan your QR code, head to the link now and get your ticket booked. If you can see on the screen there is a code for $50 off as well. Don't forget to add that in to make sure you get your $50 discount as well. Okay, and elsewhere, we have a couple of online events as well coming up. So next week we are going to do a workshop around operations and everything new there. The session is going to be led by Derek and members of the engineering team that you've seen today who have helped build the updates. So we're going to go through all of those updates and make sure that you know how to utilize the new tools. And of course, we're going to be back in 2 weeks' time with the usual town hall slot as well, with more product updates there and the opportunity to answer more questions. So if you're interested in either of those events or both of those events, please do scan the QR codes or head to the links to register and add them to your calendar. Okay, and just our final slide here as a reminder, we have a bunch of important links. If you need to go and upvote a feature or suggest a feature, you can do that at feedback.hospitable.com. You can view our updates on our changelog. You can go and get support from our team. You can invest in Hospitable. You can check out the community, as Petra already shared, and you can also go back and watch any of our town hall recordings. Okay, so we're now going to head into the Q&A section of the event.
Just before that,
yeah,
I'm going to cut you off.
Go for it. Please do.
I'm a professional at it. 2 questions that I believe are particularly important when it comes to the marketplace, especially. We had questions from our vendors and basically to host about what happens with my cleaners. As in, will you put them in touch with other property management companies and other hosts in the area? Because I spent a lot of time securing them, maybe training them, making sure they are working fantastically for my property management business. And I don't want you guys to basically poach them and have them work on a property manager that may be a competitor or another host, and then I end up basically losing a great cleaner. So I just wanted to clarify something, that we have a feature, we have a product that's called Hospitable Marketplace. And when it comes to cleaning, we are going to operate with a Chinese wall, in that you have your cleaners and they are yours. And there is a marketplace cleaner with supply partners, as we will call them, with their job is to source cleaners independently from Hospitable. The 2 things are separated. We are not poaching new cleaners and sharing that to the marketplace for whatever reason. No, we don't. I could struggle to find a case. So this is basically a clear separation. We cannot do business with property managers if we take all of their cleaners. And so we have a strong incentive to basically keep things separated. Whether that will be the case for other verticals, I think we would love to work with other supply partners that can help, but there is definitely a need for a specific marketplace to cater for short-term rentals with the kind of expectation when it comes to quality, when it comes to timeliness. It's not exactly the same thing as traditional property management. So even that is not really a comparable. There is a sense of urgency that you don't have in other real estate fields. The second thing, which is the complete opposite of that first question, is how do I get my cleaners on it? I want to pay my cleaners. I want to track them. I want to have all the fantastic features that you've just showed me from the cleaners from my team now all of a sudden. So we built those features from what Cleanster, a supply partner, has made available to us. And so, for example, we're really excited about this location tracking, which actually means that the cleaner can only start the task within, I think, 100 meters from the location of the property. And that just basically to account for geolocation error. There's no such thing as basically sitting on the couch, starting the job, ending the job immediately. There needs to be some work on location and it's being tracked. But Andrew, what are your thoughts on basically making that available for the 79% of users that basically are using their own cleaners?
70% of
70?
of our hosts. Yep. So the greater thought of what the marketplace unlocks is that we now are building basically the infrastructure to generalize this throughout the product. So I can't wait, especially for our Mogul users that I think have a lot of different teammates and a lot of different things. You are spending a lot of time processing payroll, organizing your workforce, and then documenting all these expenses and reconciling it out to many different owners. You are the prime candidate to have some time given back to you by what we're doing with this. So yes, absolutely. What we did today is an example that we're learning from and that will come to operations. And those of you that manage your own team are going to have a completely radically different experience very soon than you have today with operations. So this is a huge unlock. We're super excited. And I do want to take a second to thank everyone that worked on this. Like there was some heroic engineering happening the last, I can only say like 3 to 4 weeks that brought this together. So Ben, Nick, Matt, Roy, and Bobby, it was a pleasure working with you on this. Absolutely heroic effort that went into that. So amazing job, guys. Thank you.
That's the A team. I also recorded this weekend a podcast with Derek, who is one of the co-founders of Cleanster. I know a lot of you are having questions about basically are those cleaners vetted, or are they getting onboarded, or are they being trained? Because you lose that part of the relationship. You also have a marketplace who is entirely incentivized on the quality of their cleanings, on the quality of the supply, and is actually taking a good stance in terms of accountability for the job being done well. So you can see that now on the podcast. I think it's going to be made live. I think, or it's being made. It was shared already. So on our Spotify or wherever you're consuming our podcast, for an hour-long interview with me and Derek to basically go through the entire process of Cleanster and educating you about how the supply side works on that partnership.
Those are new features coming too soon that we didn't have time to talk about today, but like giving tips via the product is going to happen as well. When you're reading a guest review and you see them mention it, or you see a 5-star cleanliness review, obviously cleaners are going to respond to incentives. We want to help set that up, and we want to help automate that so you can set up an incentive-based payment system within Hospitable that's based on results, 5-star reviews of the cleanliness category, that will pay dividends. So that's coming too.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Miles. Back to you.
Cool, thank you. And yeah, I shared an episode, the link to the episode of the Cleanster podcast in the chat there. So if anyone wants to check that out, you can do so. Follow that link and you will find the episode on various platforms. Okay, great. So we have about 9 minutes to take some questions from the audience. So if you do have a question for us and you'd like to ask it live on stage, please feel free to raise your hand. If you go down to the React button at the bottom of your screen, you should be able to see a raise hand functionality in there. Okay, we've got a couple of people raising their hand already. Jovan, I'm going to invite you on stage to talk. Hello.
Hello. We can hear you, but you're a little bit distant, I believe. How can we help you today?
So it was kind of just going over what you were speaking on about bringing cleaners on that you already are using. So was that something that you were saying that you will have, or that we just have to connect them via CleanStar and then we can find them there?
Yeah, so that's not our expectation that you're going to drop what you're doing and onboard your existing cleaning staff that you manage today onto Cleanster. That's not the expectation, right? Again, what we tried to do as fast as possible was get an integration and learn from that. And then we're going to bring a lot of those same capabilities to those of you that already have an existing relationship with your cleaners. I think that is the preferred path. I think the marketplace is there for when you lose those operations, when you lose your cleaner, or when you temporarily, whatever. We covered some of those. That's when we expect you to lean on the marketplace, not when you have existing operations.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's another scenario that I want to say is unlocking, is that there are some of you property managers that right now believe I cannot service this one client because it's a little bit outside of my jurisdiction, it's not in my market, it would be taking too long to basically have a cleaner. And now you can at least validate that you can have this cleaner, you can have this property, you can have this client, and have maybe, if that's your appetite, use our marketplace and our supply partners to be providing you with at least a temporary cleaning service. Then up to you to decide what you want, but you can expand geographically without being limited by your current team. Next question, Miles.
Cool. Okay, thank you very much. Brian, inviting you on stage. Hello, Brian. Do you have a question for us?
Yes, I have a new problem in the direct booking. I have a guest that's wanting to book 3 days a week for 5 months, a contractor that's in town 3 days a week. And as I was working through it, it worked fine out for 4 bookings the next 4 weeks. I booked him Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, and it gives me the option of reserving until payment's done for 4 different time options. And it worked great for this first month, but it doesn't give me the option to have him go ahead and block those days for him out into November, December, January, and customize when the payments are due. That way, I agree to let him pay monthly for this staggered booking setup. Is there any way we can have a custom date in there instead of being limited to those 4 functions as far as how long it will hold the dates for him?
Hey, Brian, I think I saw your question in the chat and I was curious about the context there. So that's helpful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately right now, no. I think you're asking about having a custom time for the custom quote to be able to hold that quote for X number of days. That's not currently possible. It's also not possible right now for like, this is feedback we hear a lot of time for like midterm, long-term rentals to be able to book and pay monthly. That is something that is on our roadmap. No timeline on that just yet. But this is a little interesting. It's a lot different than the consistent 3-month stay or 1-month stay.
Why don't we have a feature for this, Abby?
I haven't heard this request before, to be honest with you.
It's an interesting one, Brian. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian. Okay, Pat, we're inviting you on stage next. Hello, Pat.
Hey, thanks a bunch. Hey, and I got on a little late. Apologize if I missed this. Really excited about this integration with cleaning inside Hospitable, and again, apologize if I missed it. How do the automatic payments work once
Cool.
the cleaning's?
Yep. So they're going to work by bank draft, basically. So we already have this concept of if you're using direct, you connect what we call a payout method there. It's actually becoming a payment method now. But a payout method is basically a digital bank account that's connected to your real world offline bank account, and money can move in both directions. So in order to keep this marketplace running smoothly and not paying credit card fees on, I think we spend about $10 million a week, or you do, on cleaning fees. we don't want all of that to be charged 3% credit card interchange fee. So it's going to be bank drafts. And the logic that we have set up today is we want you to prepay for basically 2 cleanings. So when you start and you activate it, we'll take a 2 cleaning charge, a bank draft, to fund your next 2 cleanings. Once a task is completed, a cleaning is completed, we'll take the next one. So you're always prepaying a little bit in advance to make sure that the marketplace is funded.
And then a follow-up question. So I have a marketplace cleaner from Turno. They've never been in Cleanster. If I'd like to switch them over to this, can I just have them create a Cleanster account and then try this? Would that be the workaround for now?
You could. You need to wait for the next bit of functionality that we're working on starting from tomorrow, which is the ability to select and prioritize cleaners. So to set a primary cleaner, to set alternate backup cleaners. That's the only way that you could make that happen without like kind of risking just getting anyone matched, because we're handling the algorithm now. It's kind of opaque. Yeah, that's coming soon.
Soon is maybe how long?
It's hard to say. I would say within several work days.
Okay, great.
It's not within a quarter. I mean, it is within this quarter. To be quite clear, this is actually pretty fundamental as a request that if you have a cleaner that's a great fit, we want to be able to retain their work and continue working with them. I think that's the way the industry works. Whether they're sourced yourself or they're sourced to a marketplace, you need to have this kind of stability of relationship so that you can continue and not have to reinvent the wheel, and obviously limit the risk on every side. So there is an incentive there to continue making that happen. The other thing that I want to say is that we obviously are talking right after with Turno, that we are aware of our plans, and I think over several years now are quite excited about the potential of integrating directly with Hospitable in marketplace, show the supply. This is a different platform than Cleanster. There are different fundamentals in terms of how the product work, in terms of features and capabilities. So we're gonna have to figure something out. I would love to have also Turno as a supply partner by the end of the year, so that we can have a lot more resources available for your cleaners. That also means they have more transparency for the cleaners that are already on Turno right now, that some of you are using, to give them all the context with the checklist and surface the location, etc. So you have all everything within one super application that is Hospitable, managing guests and operations alike. We believe strongly that on the cleaning side, we have great cleaning management applications that are doing a great job on the cleaning supply, but they're not having enough demand for that to be particularly attractive for everybody. So yeah, we're removing one friction and one bottleneck there. Thank you. Thank you, Pat. Next one.
Cool.
Emily.
Okay. Emily, inviting you on stage. Hello.
Hello, Emily.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm super excited about this because I have almost 50 properties and I spent the morning paying all of my cleaners.
Yes.
So this will be great.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for paying them out. And we hope to basically helping for next time. Maybe not immediately next. I mean here. Yeah.
And I use Breezeway right now. And they do have the auto pay feature on there, but yeah, it's with the 3%, and that adds up quite a bit when I'm paying 6 figures in cleaning fees a year. So I'm super excited about this. I am currently using Breezeway. Do you guys see this kind of being similar to that in the future?
What parts of Breezeway? I'm not a user of Breezeway, but what specifically?
Okay, well, mainly just, scheduling the cleans, being able to, add all the photos to the cleaning checklist, seeing the status if they've started and then it's pending, all of that kind of stuff. I love the location feature. That would be really nice. I was concerned about, people taking my cleaners, but it sounds like I won't really have to worry about that. But I mean, I pay, I don't know, $500 to Breezeway a month. So if I can stop doing that, that would be great.
Yeah. So I mean, what we shared today is we're going to try, and this is still early, but we're going to try and bring as much of that as possible into the Hospitable operations project. The kind of the greater reach for us is going to be that cleaner app. I think we'll get to some degree of that, starting from the checklist, most likely. But yeah, again, that's why we worked with a vendor first. Like, there's a question in the chat about My cleaner uses Turno. What is the process of them uploading their pictures so I can see them? We don't have that integration with Turno today. We have it with Cleanster starting from today. We will try to get as much of that capability that you saw today into Hospitable, so it's part of your Hospitable operations product.
Okay. And then my other question, will this connect directly to QuickBooks? I'm assuming maybe if I'm Mogul, I'm not Mogul yet. But right now I pay all of my cleaners through QuickBooks so that I can keep track of what I'm paying them and 1099 them. What kind of functionality will I be able to see with this?
Yeah, so that's the idea. Is a lot of this is coming into the Mogul infrastructure for us. That's accounting, owner statements, payouts, etc. So yeah, that's coming. I can't give you a whole lot of details about that today, but I'm sure someone can reach out to you, maybe from the sales team, and chat about what that looks like to make sure that we're building it in the right direction for you, if you're interested. Yeah.
Yep, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Emily. I think we're going to have to call it there. We're a couple of minutes over.
And you get to
As we
stop the
always
clock.
Yeah.
We need the French that are stopping the
But
clock.
there's next
because it's
Wednesday.
too late. So next Wednesday, we're having a workshop led by Derek and the product and engineering team that has been working on this Frankly Operation V squared to basically help you go through the entire process, working the checklist, how they are being AI generated specifically to your property count. I mean, they're going to review everything with you, so that's going to be a great opportunity to take a deeper dive. The timeline for this was communicated, but I'm repeating it. Starting from tomorrow, you will have the ability to fund to start the auto task rule, so that there is going to be an auto cleaning on Autopilot for you with cleaners that will be selected based on the quality ratings, based on their experience that they have on the job. We expect this helps you in case you don't have a cleaner already, in case you want to be having some kind of backup, in case any issue is occurring in your business, in your short-term rental operation, wherever in the US and in Canada for now. That's something that we're looking to expand as we add more supply partner to the Hospitable marketplace. We've unlocked a fundamental revamp of operations AI now with far more context shared to your cleaners. For example, if a guest has complained about something, they will see that populated automatically on their next checklist. And there's a lot more coming in terms of operation. We believe it is a better fundamental to operate in this way rather than having you set up multiple rules that make no sense and obviously are a drag on everybody. So we'll be more involved in the transaction, in the booking, and in the supply itself. We'll be expanding that maybe soon to other verticals. I'm saying that we will definitely expand. What it's going to be like, I don't know. And plenty more on the rest of the product, which is also very interesting in its own right. But yeah, particularly looking into owner stays for everything Mogul related on property for property managers in particular. And you can check back on Emily on this part. Thank you so very much. See you next week on the workshop with the Hospitable Marketplace. And the week after, we have another town hall. What are we going to be talking about?
Product updates. We're keeping it a mystery for now.
We're going to keep it a mystery for now. Okay. There's too many people listening in. Okay. Thank you so very much. Have a great